Christmas is.
Christmas. It's Christmas time. Christmas.
We're
Christmas.
here.
It's December.
It's December. We
here. Haven't talked since October.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been a minute.
Even since we talked to each other, much less to anybody who might want to take a gander at what we have to say.
Life is busy. And as we get older, it gets busier and busier.
Doesn't it though? Isn't that just the way it goes?
And I have kids, and you've got dogs and a wife, and
I do, and a Christmas tree.
And a Christmas tree. I got one here.
You have one, yes.
Presents, but they're not for me. They're for the girls.
Look at these. Look at all these plants. It's like I'm in a studio.
They're nice. I like them.
Look, there's even a fireplace with a Christmas village.
Mine's over here.
It's
fireplace over here. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
It feels like Christmas.
It's the time of year. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is.
Depending on who you ask.
It's my favorite holiday.
And which song you decide to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take the hat off because it's a bit much. It's a bit hot in here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Check out my Christmas sweater. Sports
ball for David, which is, if anyone knows David, they know that David is a huge fan of sports ball.
Yeah.
I took him to a basketball game once, an Illinois basketball game, and there were some questions, and it was fine. I was happy to answer them.
And the question, I think, the first question was, and what am I doing here?
Yeah, it's fun.
So happy holidays, everybody. So there's that for you.
David,
yes,
we haven't talked for a while. What have you been up to? It's been about a month and a half, 2 months.
I've just been decorating like a fiend. My wife loves Christmas so much that she just cannot contain herself. In fact, if she had her way, we'd have our Christmas decorations up pretty much all year round.
Perfect.
I just can't make myself be okay with that. So I restrict her to putting the decorations up the earliest the day after Halloween. So we've had them up for 2 months. Pretty much.
To be fair, I'm like your wife. Mine would be up in like September if I was allowed to. We usually wait until like Thanksgiving weekend, like, the Friday after Thanksgiving, we'll do it. But we had our first snowfall at the beginning of November, and Haley's just kind of like, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, no, because snowfall and Christmas are the same thing. And that is an interesting segue into what we're going to talk about in tonight's episode, because if you go back through the archives of the A&D Show, listeners, viewers, because we do this in video now, if you go back through the archives, dive deep into the history of the A&D Show, we have some perhaps popular, perhaps unpopular opinions about Christmas movies, holiday specials for television shows, favorite Christmas memories. We have all kinds of Christmas and holiday themed episodes out there. So if you haven't listened to those, go take a listen. We're not going to rehash anything we've already said, but we are going to dive a little deeper into something that is thematic. It's timely in this kind of special holiday episode. Christmas episode. Let's just be specific. We can be specific. It's about Christmas. It's about happy holidays. That's what it's all about.
I feel like I'm missing out because I didn't wear a Christmas sweater. I don't have a Christmas sweater.
You're wearing a sweater, which is good enough for me.
Sweater, but I also wore this to work. And I just got my kids to bed, so it's fine.
I took off my work clothes.
Yeah, you did.
They are draped over the chair there, and I put this on specifically. Oh, I didn't realize these are actual basketballs in here. This red. Funny.
Just for the record, I want everyone to know something. That David is the best Santa.
That's not me.
That's not you?
No, that's not me. That's my father-in-law.
See, I thought it was you because she said Santa was cute, but I couldn't tell who it was. I just saw like eyeballs, and I'm like, maybe David?
Nope, that's not me.
Mind.
Yeah,
that's David's wife, though.
I am not the best. That is my wife. So thanks for sharing the whole world what my wife looks like.
I feel
now everybody's gonna be stalking her
because I thought that was you in the Santa suit, and I was super excited because I was gonna not roast you. What's the opposite of roasting you? Like exalt you, but that feels too
boast.
I was gonna boast you.
Boasters and roasters.
Roasters and roasters.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at like looking at somebody in like a costume and being like, I know who that is. Like I have no clue. It's like if I was ever like involved in a bank robbery, it's like, what do you look like?
I've been involved in bank robberies before.
He had eyes.
He had a face, but it was covered by another face, but I can't remember what that one looked like either.
That's my biggest fear now of working in finance. Of like, I'm going to be at one of our branches and somebody busts in, and like the rule is always like, don't be a hero, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to be a hero today.
You're like, I am Bruce Willis, and you're like, no, I'm not.
No, it's going to hurt. So
let's talk about Christmas movies. I think we have a couple of prompts we're going to go through, but let me just first start by saying that Christmas movies are probably one of my favorite things ever, like some of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just because of the jubilance and excitement and the thrill of Christmas. And then when you throw in a really well written story, and pretty much regardless of what genre, it's in, you just kind of make something a little extra magical. You got this fantastical holiday, this fantastic time of year, and then you have this fantastical story. Like, now I haven't seen it yet, but there's a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special out there.
I was going to ask you if you've seen it. I haven't seen it either. I was going to ask you about it.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I want to watch it, but it's one of those IPs that if I watch something Marvel related without my wife, she'll get upset, but she doesn't want to watch it when I'm ready to watch it, and then I have to wait for her to watch it. So, for example, we had a few weeks ago, we both got sick. She came down with COVID for the second time. I never actually contracted it, but I also got sick in a different way. And so we both were homebound for like a whole week. And we finally watched Stranger Things, Volume 4. It only took the entire week to get through because it's unbelievably
We'll need a
long.
whole new episode. We're going to need a whole new episode to discuss that. That's our next episode is going to be the season 4 recap. We're only like 3 or 4 months late on this, but it's okay. We'll still do it.
It's worth talking about because there's so much to digest. It's so good. It's incredibly good.
1 4 3 2.
You like 3 better than 2?
Yes.
I think you're probably right. I think they probably
not close. Minus episode 7 or the season 2.
Which episode was it which season was it that they had the one where 11 goes away and finds the other people and then comes back and it's like completely irrelevant?
Episode 7 of it's either season 2 or 3. Episode 7, you just skip past that one. That's the one where like her and her sister run off or whatever, and that's the one you skip. Like,
because it doesn't matter to any part of the story. You just
skip it. Like, you don't watch it. You keep on going.
I mean, it wasn't a fundamentally bad episode. Just it didn't make any sense with the rest of the story. It didn't matter.
It was. We're getting on a tangent already.
Anyway,
we're like 5 minutes in. We're already tangenting.
Let's bring it back. Tangenting, yeah.
Tangenting.
Digent. Rock. Anyway, sorry about that. I just can't not rock whenever it happens. So yeah, Christmas movies. What's our first prompt, Austin? Because remind me.
5 best. Just 5 best.
Oh gosh, I don't know that I even thought of
your 5 best. I will give you my 5 best.
Go ahead.
Just to start off, because I am very adamant about mine. 4 best. 4 best.
Okay. 4 best. Go ahead.
Number 4 for me was The Grinch from 2018. Not like the one with Jim Carrey, like the animated
Benedict
2018
Cumberbatch
version.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
It is really, really good. The Sony animation, they really found their stride with that style of animation. It's really great. Really good.
My number 3 is Gremlins.
Okay.
Which that may fall into our final category as well, but we'll discuss that later. But I truly feel like the first Gremlins embodies Christmas. There's a gift involved, and sure, you can't feed it after midnight, and it grows demons, but no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
Two for me is Scrooged. It's hard to beat a classic Bill Murray film. Scrooge is so good. And Scrooge, I feel like universally is underrated, across the spectrum. When it comes to, no one ever talks about Scrooge and how good it is. Like it's funny. It's a heart puller. I mean, it really is a good movie. Like it's a phenomenal movie. And it's Bill Murray, Bill Murray in his heyday.
His prime. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, you just can't beat it. And then my number one, and it's not close, is Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation for me will always be the number one de facto. This is Christmas movie. Like this is my Christmas movie. Christmas Vacation. I can watch it every time I watch it. I still laugh. I can watch it 4 times every holiday season, and I laugh every time. It's always funny to me. It will never not be funny. It's a classic movie, and it's just you just can't beat it.
Okay, I'm going to give my 4 now because I think I've pretty well narrowed it down. In number 4 for me comes The Grinch, the Jim Carrey vehicle of The Grinch. And that just kind of makes the top end of the list every year for me anyway, just because that is just Jim Carrey at his peak, at his prime. And you got to kind of give him props for the torture that it was for him to play that role in that prosthetic.
Yeah.
I think the very commonly known behind the scenes kind of rumor or fact or whatever was that the suit was so, and the contacts and everything about it were so excruciating that they had to have like all kinds of torture specialists on set to help coach him through just wearing the suit to get through the movie and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I haven't really done the research to find out how true any of that is, but it wouldn't surprise me. So that's my number 4. Number 3 is going to come in with, oh gosh, I'm going to say Elf. And I know this is going to be on the bottom of your worst list because I know how much you hate this movie.
Spoilers, David. Spoilers.
But Elf is just one of my top favorites. And it's just because I love Will Ferrell in this kind of just berserk, kind of off the wall, innocent role where he's just kind of crazy and out of his mind. And of course, Zooey Deschanel is fantastic in the film. And it's just a really heartwarming tale. It's goofy. It's funny. It's super quotable. There's not very many people out there that can't quote something from the movie or don't quote something from the movie, whether at Christmas or just any time of the year. My wife, in fact, often quotes the line, "Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad," to literally any of her friends as they leave company from each other. Almost every time. It doesn't even matter. I don't even know.
She told that to me the night before your wedding, whenever I was leaving.
Right.
I was talking to her and your mom, and she goes, "Bye, buddy, find your dad."
Right. And I'm like, and I don't know that I know she knows what the quote is from, but I don't even know that at this point, as common a turn of phrases is for her and her vocabulary, I don't know that she even really connects it to that film anymore, which is just kind of a whole different monster by itself. I'm going to come in with number 2. And I'm going to join the ranks with you, and I'm going to say now that Christmas Vacation is my number 2. Number 2, only because of the existence of my number 1, and I'll explain that in just a second. But I just love Christmas Vacation more so now, I think, even than before I got married. And the reason is because my wife's entire side of her family, they just adore that movie. And we have made a tradition out of watching it as a family together on Christmas every year. And it just never gets old. It's just incredibly funny. We quote it all throughout the year. A couple of years ago, we had PJs that were specifically tied to that movie that we got as a family. And there's just so many memories around it. And it's just a super great movie. Chevy Chase at his absolute best.
That's his best. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like Chevy as an actor anyway, in certain capacities. I loved his role in Community. He was probably one of my favorite parts of that show. But anyway, yeah, so that's number 2. And my number 1 favorite movie, Christmas movie of all time, and possibly a top contender for number 1 favorite movie of all time, is White Christmas with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. Now, this might also enter into your realm of least favorites, just because I know how pedantic you are, but
Pedantic. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But the whole reason behind it has less to do, I think, with the quality of the film and less to do with the idea of what the film is about. Because it's honestly, if you look at it, if you watch it, it's kind of an irritating movie because the entire premise of the film revolves around people just refusing to talk to each other for completely unknown and these are like full-grown adults, right? Bing Crosby is like in his 40s and Rosemary Clooney is like at least in her 30s at this time, and they're like these two love interests and they just will not talk to each other, and it's so infuriating, right? But the whole reason why it's my number one favorite is because of what it means to me and my wife. Our entire relationship hinges, Austin, I don't even know if I've told you this, our whole relationship hinges around the existence of this movie. The first time, side story, the first time I ever told Allison that I loved her, I told her, I was like, I think I'm falling in love with you. I think I love you. And she just looked me in the eye and she said, mutual, I'm sure, which is a quote, a direct quote from this movie that I had already loved because of its just innocence and it's just kind of very Christmas and very simple. And I love old world television and show and movies and things. And so she quotes this movie to me and I'm just like, yeah, it's meant to be.
That's it.
And
That's it.
we have made a tradition out of watching that together. And then now we have some family things that are happening with our family on my father-in-law's side of the family that we have become more traditional in that sense of things as well, and added that as part of our family tradition on his side of the family too, which is fun. So that's my top four. It's a lot of words.
So yours are a lot more meaningful than mine. Mine just like, I think they're good. Yours had more story. Mine are just I don't have like a lot of, like my traditions for Christmas are like, my parents come over on Christmas Eve and then we're with her parents on Christmas Day. And but we don't really have tradition other than at some point in the next 3-ish weeks, we're going to watch Christmas Vacation with my in-laws. Because we do that every year. And we'll have hot cocoa and popcorn or hot cocoa and cookies or something.
Right.
Maybe a ginger ale if I'm feeling feisty. I did get some eggnog. I got my first run of eggnog this year, and boy howdy, I do love that stuff. I do love eggnog.
Isn't it good though?
It's so good. Like, why can we not not have eggnog year round? Like, do they make eggnog year round?
I would assume so.
Like I think it's just like eggs and milk and stuff, or I don't know what's in it. I honestly it's delicious.
Don't know. Actually, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife.
Is there like a nutmeg shortage throughout the year? We can't make eggnog throughout the year.
That's what it is.
I want eggnog.
There's only so many nuts to meg.
I want to go to like Starbucks and be like, hey, can I get like an iced eggnog latte?
Right.
It's July. Yeah, I know. I want the eggs.
Yeah, well, it's Christmas in July, so get me my daggum eggnog.
I want eggnog. Yeah. Eggnog is
it's so good.
It's one of those things where you either love it or hate it. Now, McKinley, my 5-year-old, I got her to try it, and she loves it. Haley won't touch it to save her life. Like, gun to her head, she'll take the bullet. Like, she ain't drinking eggnog.
Well, it's kind of like it's got the same kind of taboo or whatever, or kind of public opinion as buttermilk. Which
that's it. I've never had buttermilk, so I can't really speak on that.
Well, I have, and it's disgusting. It's basically like publicly sellable soured milk. It's disgusting. Okay, it's disgusting. It's anyway. My grandfather
creme brulee, like custards,
Oh yeah, no, creme brulee.
Custards are good. Custards are great.
Allison's brother actually makes homemade creme brulee for our Friendsgiving every year.
So do I. And not for your Friendsgiving, but I make my own creme brulee.
He torches the sugar and everything. He's got the whole.
You do it the right way.
Ramekin.
Got the whole torch, and you do it the right way, and it's phenomenal. I love making creme brulee. I love making it because like I can do it. So a little bit about me. Like I love to bake. Like I love to bake, and I love to like smoke meat and grill meat. I don't like making sides. I'm not making mashed potatoes or vegetables, whatever. I'm making the meat and I'm making the dessert. Those are the two things I'm doing for like a party. Like I'm not doing anything else. I'll make the meat and I'll make the dessert, but I love making desserts. And so the first time I did creme brulee, like I was anal about it. Like I was just like, this has to be perfect. And boy, oh boy, was that good stuff. I think I had good. 3 of them myself. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. Anyway,
I wanted to hit our worst movies, but I want you to go first on your worst, because this is important to me because I'm going to have to be in depth on my worst, because I've got a lot of opinions and some holdups with my worst list.
Okay.
That I got I sent in an email at work. I do cybersecurity, and I sent in an email, and I like to put little blurbs in there, and I just put I ranked my Christmas movies for them. And I got absolutely lambasted for most of my choices on my worst list.
You do often strike up controversy with your opinions and perceptions about
because they're right.
What's good and bad. Let me pull up my list here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start with I don't know that I have 4, but I'm just going to start at 4 and we'll see how many I can get there. My 4th least favorite, and it's not because I don't enjoy the movie, it's just because it's dumb, is Richie Rich's Christmas Wish. So if you're not aware, there was one that I can recall, Richie Rich movie that starred Macaulay Culkin.
It was phenomenal.
It was great. It was great.
You have a McDonald's in your house?
Yeah. It was pretty great. I'm not going to lie. And this is like Macaulay Culkin. I think this might have even been pre-Home Alone Macaulay Culkin.
It was post-Home Alone.
Are you sure? Because he was pretty young. Okay.
It was post-Home Alone.
Okay. You're probably right. I'll trust your judgment on that one. But anyway, so he's riding high on his career at that point. I mean, 10 or 12 years old, and everybody loves him and all this other stuff. And it's a great movie. Well, a few years, I want to say probably 5 or 6 years after the original, they come out with the only sequel that I'm aware of. There might be others. The only sequel that I ever remember watching, which was Richie Rich's Christmas Wish. It was a blatant ripoff of the Wonderful Life story. So in the Wonderful Life story, he wishes that he'd never been born, and then he gets to see what the world and all the people he loves would be, what their lives would be without him having existed in their life. And so he has it's Richie Rich. It's not played by Macaulay Culkin. It's a totally different recasted character, and it's just not good. It's fun to watch because there's so many memorable things. My brother and I quote this movie to each other often. TJ, if you're listening, coughing on hell, no wind in my sails. He'll understand what that means. It just not good. Just genuinely not good. I'm going to go with, for my number 3, and it's going to be a little bit broad, but I'm going to go with pretty much with very few exceptions, any Christmas special based on a Disney Pixar character. I don't think I've ever seen, including Toy Story. I might take some flack for this. I've never seen a Christmas kind of special based around some sort of Pixar character that was any good. They all suck.
Have you seen Prep and Landing?
I have seen that one, but that was not based on that was a Christmas movie that they made a Christmas spinoff for. So it's a little bit different.
Those are pretty cute.
They are pretty good. So I'll add a caveat there. My second least favorite Christmas movie of all time. Again, I'm going to make it a little bit more broad, but it's every sequel to Home Alone after the second one. Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2, the two that had Macaulay Culkin are classic. They're amazing. They didn't make my top 4 because of the importance of the other movies that made it up there, but they're so good. But every single sequel that they ever made and are still making, please, I saw there was a new one.
I saw there was a new one with one of the girls in The Office in it, I think, and
it's horrible. It's British. The guy, the Home Alone's,
I'm out.
Kevin McAllister's British.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's so dumb. So every single sequel to the Home Alone series, other than the second one. And then my number one least favorite Christmas movie of all time, again, is not a single film, but it is the entirety of Hallmark, just in its entire existence. They all are horrible. They're all formulaic. They're all the same. And they just won't stop. Oh.
She's an uppity businesswoman from New York. He is a Christmas tree salesman. Let's see what happens. Can love bloom on Down on the Farm?
Down on the Christmas
Starring
farm.
Kate Winslet and Bradley Cooper. Coming to Hallmark.
No, they never have any good actors. It's always it's always these old TV actors that have like played their whole lives out, and like the girl from what's that show? The show
Kirk Cameron's third cousin and Alexis Bledel from Gilmore Girls.
What was the family show from the 90s that was like a huge thing, and then they recently like revived it on Netflix? What do you know what I'm talking about? I can't think of it. Never mind. But yeah, so it was like Full House. The girl from Full
Kirk
House.
Cameron. That's Family Ties.
The girl from Full
Step
House.
by Step. Remember that show, Step by Step? It was on TGIF.
Maybe.
The intro was like a roller coaster thing. It was in like the Bay Area. It was a good one.
I don't know where that came from, but no, I don't remember it.
I'm thinking about like my childhood of enjoying TGIF and like all the cool shows that were on there. And like now, you don't have that anymore. Like whatever happened to TGIF? Like the dinosaurs were on there. Like it was great.
I don't know. That's maybe a discussion for another podcast episode.
I'm sorry. Is the way that my brain functions.
Listen, I'm still waiting. I've borne my soul on this podcast about what I hate in Christmas movies. Okay. It's your turn. Tell us what the people want to hear.
My worst list, and the issue with my worst list is that a lot of it comes down just to I have seen them so many times that when I see them now, I want to put my hand in a meat grinder. Like it's terrible.
So Elf, obviously. No, go ahead.
Hold on. I'll get there. Relax. All right. My number 4 is Home Alone. The first one.
Yeah.
And the second one, honestly. Like, yeah, I know for you, it's everything past 2. For me, I've just seen it so many times. And like, as McKinley and my kids get older, like I'll watch it with them and I'll, enjoy it because I'm their dad. But like, I can't watch them anymore. Like they're awful. Mm-hmm. They're so bad. My number 3 is A Christmas Story. Now I blame TBS for that because TBS had the 24 hours of A Christmas Story, and now so like I got HBO Max on Black Friday for like 3 months for like $2 a month. And I've begun rewatching Chuck because Chuck was one of my favorite shows.
You remind me a lot of Chuck from the show.
Thank you.
You really do. You really do.
So, but the issue with that is that every commercial break, like there's like every 20 minutes, there's like a commercial, and they're 2 short commercials. But out of every like 4 total, 2 of those are for A Christmas Story on HBO Max,
the big sequel or whatever.
And it's just like I'm like, I haven't even watched it, and this is already approaching my list of top 4 movies that I hate. But A Christmas Story was just like, at first I was like, oh, this is funny, it's fudge, what? And now it's just like I've seen it so many times that I can't stomach watching it. I just can't. My number 2 is like you, anything on Hallmark. I'm definitively out, and I literally have on my sheet anything from Hallmark. I can't do it. My mother-in-law loves Hallmark movies. I just can't do it.
It doesn't even honestly.
It's terrible.
It's like they think that because Hallmark movies are just bad to begin with, right? And it's like they think that if they throw fancy Christmas lights in and snow, that it's gonna be like, oh, right, like, it's different and better. And it's not.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like this is a tree farm, whatever. And none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
This guy was a lumberjack in the other movie, but now he's a Christmas tree farmer because they're not the same thing. Anyway.
It's terrible.
All right, let's hear it. Number 1.
My number 1's Elf.
Yeah, I knew.
That was no shock.
Of course, I knew.
Because Elf is like I love when I first saw it, I loved it, I can't do it anymore. Like I just can't do it. Like McKinley, I think finally watched it the other day, and I'm like you. I love Will Ferrell.
Yeah,
but I can't handle watching the movie. Like it's just so obnoxious. It's so obnoxious. There are moments in it that are fun, but they're terrible. It's a terrible movie. It's just not a good movie.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, that's the reason why we restrict them to a single or at most a double viewing every year on certain movies.
And again, Elf. The first few times I watched it, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's just this saturation where it's just like, and everyone's like, you gotta love Elf, and like, you see, people start quoting all this stuff nonstop, and it's like, just stop.
And there's just nothing you can do to escape it at that point.
Now, if you want to quote, Christmas Vacation, you can do it year round. Like it's great.
Yeah, and we do in our house and in our family. So
like I still do like the Cassetti, like real nice. Like I still do that like year round. Like it's perfect, and everyone knows where it's from because it's a great movie.
Yeah, that's what this hat reminds me of, because it's got the ear flaps.
It's good.
It's just Cousin Eddie all over again. Every year, every daggum year. Anyway, so here's a question though. Here's one that's pressing, I think. We've talked in previous episodes about movies that are debatably Christmas movies, i.e. like Die Hard, for example, that is, in my opinion, unequivocally a Christmas movie 100%. Without any doubt.
100%.
But there are a whole host of others out there that maybe people don't look at as a Christmas movie, but they definitely should. And I think I have a few that I'm going to put on this list, and you might disagree with me. You might agree with me, audience, listeners, viewers, whatever.
If there's a Christmas tree anywhere in that show or movie, it quantifies as a Christmas movie.
So let me give my top 4 movies,
please,
that I think either should be qualified as Christmas movies, or are Christmas movies and people just don't recognize it. Obviously, number 4 is Die Hard. There's still a lot of debate. There's still a lot of people out there who refuse to believe
there debate about that.
I don't know.
It's beautiful.
I don't know. And I'm going to go ahead and amend that answer to include Die Hard 2.
Agreed.
And if you don't believe me, just go and watch them. It is so much more evident. I don't know why people don't think about it.
There's a Christmas party there. I mean, it's clearly Christmas movie.
Yeah, the whole first film happens around the Christmas holiday, and incorporate. I mean, he straight up kills one of the bad guys and sends down an elevator with a Santa hat and saying, "Now I have a gun." Ho ho ho, or something like that. So it's like
it's Christmas. Yeah.
In fact, hold on.
Related.
Let me get something real quick from behind from the set, real quick. Hold on, just a second,
please. This is off the rails, just for the record. I feel like because you. So
if you don't believe me that this is a Christmas movie, this is probably the most convincing piece of evidence you will ever see in your life.
Oh, is it Die Hard Christmas? I love
Die Hard Christmas. It is straight up an animated.
Is that a kid's book?
Kids book.
Okay, so I've got to get that.
It's fantastic. Kids. It's like $10 on Amazon. I will.
Is there violence in it?
There is definitely violence.
Oh,
and it does drop some profanity right there at the end.
Oh shoot!
You can't have the movie without it. So
it's true.
But it is unequivocally a Christmas movie. I bought this from Amazon for $10. Okay, I sent a copy to my brother, worth every single penny, and you really just can't debate that. Now the second one is a little bit more covert, but again, all happening in an airport at Christmas time with carolers, decorations, snow, the whole gamut 100%. Of Christmas.
100% agree.
So moving on, number 3 are the first 2 Harry Potter films. The second one slightly less than the first, but both of them very heavily rely on the setting of the Christmas holiday.
Absolutely.
Snow, decorations, tree, all the whole shebang, all of it. And even in the first one, they even have a whole like gift exchange element where they're giving each other gifts. They're opening presents on Christmas Day. I mean, yes, they don't exclusively. The movie doesn't exclusively happen on Christmas Day,
No,
but it is a massive element of the film.
Right.
Moving on to number 2. I don't know that I have actually 4, so I'm going to skip number 2. I'll just bump the other ones up into those 2 places. And I'm going to say my number 1, if I think of another one later, I'll add it to it. But my number 1 movie that I think, it's not technically a Christmas movie, but I always watch it. I don't always watch it, but I only ever watch it around the Christmas holiday, is The Day After Tomorrow with Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal, however you want to pronounce his name.
Gyllenhaal.
That movie, first of all, I mean, it's a whole PC nightmare, global warming, whatever. I mean, whatever you want to believe or disbelieve, whatever. The whole movie, the premise of the movie is pretty stupid, to be frank. But it's pretty awesome whenever you look at this big old gigantic hurricane pulling Arctic air down and freezing people instantly
visually
to death.
great.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it's as far as like doomsday videos or movies go, it's pretty cool. And I recognize that the entire film has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, has nothing to do with the time of year that Christmas, typically falls on, but the whole thing is all about snow. And when does snow fall? In theory, around Christmas time.
I mean, it might be a stretch, but I'll allow it.
It's a weak argument, but it's one of my favorites just because, my favorite Christmas movie of all time, White Christmas, there's a song that's very heavily laden with snow, 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 snow. So snow is very much linked to Christmas for me. And so this whole movie is Christmas because of snow.
It works.
Now, Austin, we are running really close on time. But go ahead, give us yours.
So we agree on the diehards. Number one, both the diehards are Christmas movies through and through.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Batman Begins or Batman Returns.
Yes.
Batman Returns is focused solely around Christmas. The the Penguin and Catwoman, it's focused solely on Christmas. That should absolutely be a Christmas movie because there are Christmas trees in there. There's carolers. There's snow. But my number 1 isn't a Christmas movie or show, but should be, is Stranger Things season 1. You've got Christmas trees. It's a Christmas holiday. The entire thing is a holiday. Will's mom uses the Christmas lights to communicate with Will in the Upside Down.
Interesting.
There are multiple Christmas trees. It's set around Christmas time, for crying out loud.
See, because I thought it was set around Halloween. Because don't they go out
at the end? Will's brother gets a camera as a Christmas present at the very end.
Okay.
It's absolutely a Christmas movie, Christmas show, 100%. It counts. It qualifies. Go watch the last episode of season 1. There is a Christmas tree and presents, and there's whatever. It's Christmas.
I mean, I'll allow it. I mean, if you're going to let me have Day After Tomorrow. If I'm giving you Day After Tomorrow,
you're giving me season 1 of Stranger Things as a not Christmas but should be, is Stranger Things season 1, Batman Returns, and Die Hard.
Okay,
those are Christmas movies that aren't Christmas movies but should at least be canon for Christmas. Are those 3 right there?
I'll allow it.
You should.
I think there's so many out there. There's so many Christmas movies. There's so many to love, and there's so many to loathe. And you can take our word for it, listeners. You can be like, well, because A&D love these movies or hate these movies or wish these movies were classified as Christmas, then that's the opinion I'm going to have. You can do that if you want to be a complete putz. But I highly encourage you, and I think Austin would do the same, to go out there and find your favorite Christmas movies this season. There's so many, and it's so fun to watch them with your family. And here's the thing. If you find one that's just a big old stinker, then one of my favorite things to do, my wife and I do this very often, is we sit back and if we watch a movie that just is dumb, we'll just sit back and we'll pick fun at it the whole time. And it's just great family fun. So
it's true.
Get out there, watch some Christmas movies, have a great holiday, and we might have another episode before the end of the year. We may not, but if we'll
try.
We'll see you then. And if not, we'll see you in 2023.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Christmas.
Happy holidays. Safe traveling. Sorry, my mic fell. Save everything. Enjoy the Christmas season. Have fun.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.